If you've ever been in a position of being mentored by someone, a parent or someone else, and they've come to you and they've given you the whole, don't do as I do, do as I say, you know right away to stop listening. Right? Because if what they're about to tell me, that's what I love. Like, I know smoking is a hard habit to break and stuff like that, but I've told you about my Uncle Johnny. Or actually, it was my Aunt Maxine. Uncle Johnny, I didn't care. But Aunt Maxine, she would just sit there at her kitchen table. I'd be over at her house, and she'd just be chiefing on the Camel, just, just 4, 5, 6, 7 at a time. And she'd always look at me and say, "Don't ever let me catch you smoking these things." I'm like, whatever. I am smoking these things. You're blowing it right in my face. Anyway, it just doesn't work. You have to have a life that matches up with what you are asking of your children. Otherwise, you invalidate the teaching. So when I say that parents have to be disciplined, I'm here to tell you, your kids have a I don't know what else to call this. They can smell if it isn't right. They have a built-in lying detecting machine. There, that was PC. And they could tell whether or not what you're saying is something that you're doing. It's just there. There's nothing worse. Can I share with you, Christian parents? There's nothing worse than you living like, not Christian for 6.5 days of the week, and then the minute you pull onto this parking lot, all of a sudden, you're this other person. Can I share with you? Don't subject your kids to that. Don't come to church. You're like, listen, I would rather spare your children the hypocrisy, the wrestling match of trying to make these two things congruent, than for you to go on playing the game. Did you hear me? Yeah, it's got to match up. It's not okay just to play Jesus for an hour and then go home and then, play for the other team. So, stay in control. You can't teach what you're not. Secondly, hug on your kids. This is one of my favorites. Hug on your kids. I have it in, Good Faith from some of the books that I've read that kids need hugs. Who knew? Anybody like hugging your kids? Especially when they're little. Like, I met some new babies today, and, the moms are cradling them, and they're all soft, and, that kind of stuff. But then they get to be teenage years. My kids are 11, 12, and 14, and now they have, like, this force field around them, right? Like, hey, man, don't even, fake a hug around me, all right? Especially if I'm around my friends. Don't get close. I know some families where, the kid and the parents will go to the mall, and the parents have, a 3-store, distance minimum. You have to be at least 3 stores down from me at all times. I'll meet you here at a designated hour. It's like, Junior, relax. You're just not even close to being that cool, all right? I'm going to be the guy that if my kids ever do that, I'm going to put on a really sweaty T-shirt and black socks with my sneakers. Just walk around them all, at the mall. It's my son. How's it going? We're buds. But you know what I've found is that if kids won't let you hug them, punch them. You think I'm kidding? Well, you watched. I'm serious. Am I right, Glenn? If your kids, especially if you got sons, there is just, I don't know if it's, just something that's in us as humans, but there comes a point where the kid doesn't really necessarily want the comfort and nourishment of her dad, a dad's hug. They just want to wrestle. They want to throw down, man. And so a great way for me to tell my kid I love him every morning is to punch him right in the shoulder. Hey, buddy. Pam! Love you. My in-laws were over, my parents were over this Saturday morning. We're all having this nice talk, and then all of a sudden Ben just jumped on Cooper, which always happens. Ben's 2 years older and twice his size. And so he's just pummeling on his little brother. Well, then it's time for the anvil. And so I come in over the top of the side of the couch, and I just, all 200 pounds of me, just bam. Right? And I'm punching them and nose pick and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, I picked their nose. I don't care. wipe it on them, whatever. Doesn't matter. Two things are happening there. I'm still establishing dominance in my home. We're having a good time, but they know. You ain't getting one over on Dad yet, right? But the second thing that's happening is with every punch, every noogie, every pulling of the ear, every picking of the nose, is I'm saying these three blessed words: I love you. You don't think it's true? I was thinking about talking about this last Tuesday. I was writing it down in my notes to get ready for this weekend. That night, I went in and tucked my son Cooper, into bed and stuff, just hang out on him before he goes to sleep. And, I did the pile drive, dropped the elbow on them, I still do the whole tickle, spank, tickle, spank, tickle, spank. They're all up here. That whole thing. Eleanor always gets mad at me because I get him like so it's the most active he is all day. It's like he's so riled up. It's like, he's trying to go to sleep. Let him sleep. Sorry, babe. But then we always stop and we get to the prayer time, and it was Cooper's turn to pray, and this is how I kid you not, this is how he started praying. He said, God, thank you so much that my dad still wrestles me. Just like that. And I was like, thank you, Cooper. Hug on your kids. Ladies, hug your daughters. Let them know you love them. Affirm them physically. It'll go a long way. Stay objective is the third thing. It's nothing personal. A lot of times when I counsel with families, I have to convince the parent that they're the parent. Because a lot of times what happens in conflicts with kids is the parent wants to be a kid too. Have you ever seen kids getting like a disagreement on the playground? The names start going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. These are two individuals that are not being objective. They're not, dealing with this in a mature way. And when that happens between a kid and his parent or her parent, someone's got to put on the big girl pants or the big boy pants. They've got to grow up and determine that no matter what my kid does in this situation, to inflame me, to anger me, to disrespect me, I'm not going to take it personally. That kid's a little sinner. I keep emphasizing that today, don't I? Sorry. But he knows not what he does. Remember Jesus hanging on the cross? I picture him, advocating for us to our Father, saying, Father, forgive your kids. They don't know what they're doing. Listen, think the same things when your kids are going off on you. At that moment, their emotions, their thoughts, their processes aren't working. And so you need to say, okay, listen, pal, you're gonna, and doesn't it always happen? I don't know if it happens in your house, maybe it doesn't. But in my house, my kids will get way out of line. They'll say things to their parents or to their mom or me, and it's like clockwork. I can almost set my watch to it. In a half an hour, they're going to come back to me, and because we have, by God's grace, a good relationship, they're going to apologize for everything they just did. I know it's coming, because they know they're wrong. So when they come after me or whatever, I may raise my voice so they hear me, because sometimes they're not listening. Okay? I may square them so that they can understand that we're done now. I may, when the video game's not turning off fast enough, I may go unplug the thing. It's okay. I'm not angry. I'm not throwing the controller at them. I'm not picking them up and chucking them around the room. I'm just saying, hey, bro, I'm trying to parent you. I'm trying to correct you, admonish you. You're not paying attention. It's an unemotional thing. You're just not going to be able to do what you're doing anymore.